In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how I bought 28 apartment building units and retired at 33 years old. I didn't know what I was doing at the time. I figured out as I went along what I would do today if I wanted to do the same thing, if I wanted to retire even younger, okay, and how you could retire in 15 years or 20 years. I wish I would have known then, but hey, you know what? I was able to be successful at it. I didn't even really know what I was doing. I didn't have any mentors. I didn't have anyone teaching me, but I figured it out. And so if I can do it, absolutely you can too. I am John from BulldogMindset.com. On this channel, I teach you how to become financially independent, how to be a man, okay? How to build the physique that you want, and how to get the girls that you want, and how to go from the victim mindset to what I call the bulldog mindset. If that sounds like something you are interested in doing, click that subscribe button and join us on the quest. I'm 39 years old now. I retired at 33. When I say retired, what I mean is that I became financially independent. Basically, it means I don't have to work. Now, I'm still running this business. I have another business. I have other things I'm doing, okay? I work like a fucking dog, but I love to do it. I do it because I want to. I don't have to. A lot of people are, oh, just YouTube scammer trying to make money on ads. Come on. The little bit of money that I make on ads, oh my gosh. I started out 19 years old and I bought my first house. Okay, you might think, well, John, hey, you bought your first house at 19. Yeah, see, I knew you were rich and shit. Your parents must have given you some money. No. I didn't have shit. I didn't even have any money saved, okay? Maybe I had like $1,000 saved. Real estate agent wouldn't even talk to me. Finally got one real estate agent that said, okay, I'll show you some houses. I'm like, my price is under $70,000. He's like, yeah, right. Okay, fine. We're gonna look at some shitty houses, but I don't know if there's even any. He found me one, $68,500, okay? In Boise, Idaho is where I lived at the time. I went to so many mortgage brokers and banks, and they all laughed at me. They said, you don't have credit. You can't get a loan, okay? Finally, this one sleazy lender, sleazy as hell, was like, okay, 13% interest rate, 2-year prepayment penalty. That means if you pay it early, you got to pay like a penalty, so you can't refinance the thing. And somehow I got this loan, all right, and I got a second loan that he authored for me as well, okay, and I basically needed like $2,500. I think I borrowed like $1,500 from my parents, got enough money to do this, had to dig a ditch to like connect the property to city utilities, which the seller ended up paying me to do, which helped me for my down payment. It was some crazy shit, but I finally got this property at 19. I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't planning on investing. I just didn't want to rent. I just thought that was smart. It was a bachelor pad. It was pimp. We threw parties there. It's fucking awesome. All right, had this crazy Halloween party where I just woke up on the fucking floor. I tried to kick the ceiling, I think, and I did, and then I basically must have hit my head because I just woke up on the floor staring up. Shortly after I got this property, I got a job, okay, working at Xerox as a contractor in LA for $75 an hour. All right, I was like, holy shit, this is crazy, right? And part of it was per diem, so it was basically like, I was basically making like $160,000, $170,000 a year equivalent. One of my friends wants to rent the house. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll rent it to you. I don't have any contract. I don't have any, just like send me some rent. I was doing some renovations on the house as well, like trying to convert the garage into a studio apartment, and you know, I thought I was all smart and shit. So anyway, I moved down there, started doing the math in my head. I'm like, all right, how long before I'm rich? Okay, I want to retire, I'm gonna be like super rich here. And I did the math, and I was like, okay, if I'm making $170,000 a year, then even if I save everything, if I have I'm gonna have taxes. So if I paid my taxes and I lived off of like $25,000, $30,000 a year, okay, which was pretty hard to do in LA, but I could do that, you know, just sleeping on the floor or whatever, didn't even have a bed, okay, not, you know, eating macaroni and cheese and fucking beans and rice and eggs and shit, okay, not going out, then I could save $100,000 a year. I did the math and I was like, okay, if I save $100,000 a year, how long before I become a millionaire? Well, at first I thought it was 10 years, but then I realized inflation. So really the number was more like 13 or 14 years. This is insane. There's no way, like, and even being a millionaire, like having $1 million, that's not shit. That doesn't mean that you're fucking retired. It doesn't mean that like, you can't just live off of $1 million, okay? Even if you figure out some way to get like 3 or 4 or 5% interest, it's still not enough, not really. How the fuck do people get rich? How do people get wealthy in America? I realized that I needed to start to do something, to invest in real estate. I ended up saving up some money while I was at that job. Not as much as you would think, like really like $10,000, $15,000, actually $20,000. I ended up buying a property to live in, okay? And it was a duplex. It was like 2 townhouses. So I bought one to live in thinking I could rent that out later. And then I bought the one next door like a month later, okay, with another $10,000 down payment. Now I had 3 properties, okay? I had one I was living in that I could rent out later, and I had 2 rental properties. I had this strategy, I had this plan, and I said, okay, I'm gonna buy 1 property every single year. And that's what I did. I ended up going to business with a friend, and we ended up buying a commercial space. So I ended up getting 2 commercial units, 2 like office spaces, okay? And then I think the next year I ended up buying 2 fourplexes in Kansas City, Missouri. Oh, no. Before that, I bought a duplex in Kansas City, Missouri. And then I bought 2 fourplexes the year after that in Kansas City, Missouri. So I just kept on doing this year after year. And all I did was every year just saving up enough money. And what happened was that every year I had a little bit more money because I was making some money on the rentals. I would basically just take that money that I was making from my job, okay, and I would save like 15-20% of what I was making at my job. All right, so I only needed like 10, 15, maybe $20,000 to put down as a down payment as I was buying these properties. My whole plan was every single year just to buy a property. You can actually just buy a house every year. Okay, now if you live in San Francisco or New York or somewhere expensive, no, obviously you can't, but you can buy out of state. And I bought out of state in Kansas City when the prices in Boise started to go way up. It was hard, okay, I had to sacrifice. It was hard to get those loans. It was hard to save up that money. But that was my game plan. What accelerated my game plan was actually building business. I started Simple Programmer like 10 years ago. All right, I started doing some courses for Pluralsight. I started doing a lot of things, starting my blog, my podcast, and then, eventually I started this business, okay, Bulldog Mindset. I started using that money to buy more real estate and then to start paying off my real estate. Now, you don't have to pay off your real estate, but I really wanted to retire young. By the way, I don't have time in this video to go like into all the details of real estate strategy and investing and building a business and stuff like that. I do have content on that. It is in my Bulldog Mindset membership, okay? So if you want to join that, there's a way that you can join that. What you need to do is you need to go up here and take the Bulldog quiz first to see what your Bulldog score is, and there'll be a link in the description as well. And once you take that quiz, I'll send you some videos, some free videos on how to raise that score. You'll also get an invite to the membership if you make it through everything that you're supposed to do. I basically accelerated my plan. I ended up paying off most of these properties so that they would cash flow more, and I got to the point where I think I retired when I was making like $6,000 or $7,000 a month cash flow on the real estate properties. And right now I'm making somewhere around, I just bought this commercial property, so around $15,000 a month of positive, net cash flow. First, buy a property every single year. Okay, I know that sounds very basic, but it doesn't have to be a big property. I've got properties that I'm sent every day that are under $100,000, okay? Some of them are in Alabama and Tennessee and places like that that are a little bit, on the east and the south, okay? But they're growing markets, okay? And those properties exist. The basic formula is this. Like, let's say that you had a $100,000 property that you're going to buy every year and you needed $20,000. Okay, you can save $20,000. If you're a software developer, I know a lot of you are, making $100,000 or more a year, you can save $20,000. Okay, it's a sacrifice, but you can do it. You have to cut your expenses a lot. Okay, you probably are not going to have a car payment or very high expensive rent or house payment, but you could do it. Okay, I know because I did it on like, at one point, my salary actually went down. I was making $60,000, $70,000 a year working at HP, okay? And I was able to do it. So you can absolutely do this. If you're like, John, I'm not a software developer. I make like $40,000 a year. You're fucking crazy. I agree. You can't do it. If $20,000, $10,000 or $20,000, you can't save that up in a year, that's too much money, okay? You need to take all the money that you have and you need to invest in yourself, okay? You need to buy books, seminars, go to conferences, join the fucking Bulldog Mindset, okay? It's pretty fucking cheap for a monthly fee in order to get personal mentoring from me, to get a bunch of people that are successful, that are building businesses that will help you and that you can reach out to, that you can literally fucking call on the phone and can help you to make more money. Software developers making 6 figures, $200,000 a year, some of these guys, that can help you get started as a software developer. If you make some friends there, shit, that is a good investment. Even if you don't invest in my Bulldog Mindset membership, I don't really care, okay? Invest in yourself, okay? If you're making $30,000, $40,000 a year, you need to get a job making 6 figures, okay? If you take that money that you're making from that job and you invest it in your education, okay? And you figure out how to make more there's so many careers you can make. Have you heard of the doubling rule? Okay, it's basically means that you can figure out how long it'll take something to double based on the return, the compounding interest on that. Basically, you can count on pretty much that if you buy real estate, that it will double in 15 years. You buy properties for 15 years. On year 16, you sell the first property and you live off of it. And then on that same year, you still buy a property because you want to keep the thing going, but you're only going to use a small portion of that money that you got back, okay, in order to buy the new property. And you just keep on doing that, okay? Now, you're not going to become phenomenally rich or wealthy by doing that. In fact, if you do it over 30 years, you don't even have to buy a new property. You can just start selling them off, and then you've got 30 years of retirement of living like a king. That's not the strategy that I would use to maximize my return. If I were trying to maximize my return, what I would do is I would build a business, okay, to increase that income. I would do still buying one property per year, but then I would take that money and I would make sure that it's leveraged, and I would keep on going from there. Hope you found this useful. Let me know if you did. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.